in the win column last night, but can they repeat with this version of Anthony Davis?
Does it count?
The Green Bay Packers made another commitment to Aaron Rodgers. Are the guys buying it, though? Not sure they are. And should the New England Patriots move up in the draft to grab Justin Fields? Good Tuesday morning, everyone. Welcome to First Things First. Jenna Wolf alongside Nick Wright, Brandon Marshall, and Kevin Wildes. Sir, I want to talk to you, Kevin Wildes. Look at your plethora of possibilities at quarterback. You got Cam, maybe Jimmy G, maybe Justin Fields. You got to be a happy guy this morning.
Oh, just like having 3 children. I love them all equally. I don't want to choose, Jenna.
Oh, but you might have to. On television, we make you choose.
You have to.
And Nick chooses amongst his kids all the time. We are 2 days away from that NFL draft. Biggest question mark. Stop saying that, Nick. Stop saying that. 2 days away from the draft. We've got to talk about the 49ers. 49ers spend a ton of capital to move up to that 3 spot, right? To draft a quarterback, seemingly perplexing since quarterback Jimmy Garoppolo, who got them to the Super Bowl just 2 seasons ago, still on the roster. So a lot of questions for head coach Kyle Shanahan now. Take a listen to this.
We made a decision in this process that we felt we needed to get a starting quarterback this year and add that to our team. And when we sit there at 12 way back in the day, and we wanted to dictate it. And we also were worried maybe the one we end up winning doesn't fall to 12. When we made this decision, we knew that there were 5 guys that we felt that we'd be okay with taking. You know, we knew that there was 3 at the time exactly. That's why we thought 3 was a good spot to go to. After going through this whole process, I feel good about 5 guys at 3. Do we know exactly who we want? Maybe, probably, but maybe not. I don't feel like we need to say that.
Nick, I have to imagine. Nick has been all over this head scratcher of an offseason the 49ers have had. What do you make of what Kyle Shanahan had to say, Nick?
That line right there at the end reminded me of the famous scene early in the movie The Departed, where Mark Wahlberg is asked if he has any undercover agents inside Costello's operation. He's like, maybe I do, maybe I don't. Maybe go bleep yourself, but I'm not talking about it. It's like, all right, Kyle, geez Louise, buddy. We're just here asking about the draft. Like, calm down. So listen, he knows who they're taking. And I don't know if we have, you guys can tell me in my ear if we do, have the John Lynch sound. But John Lynch was asked about the quarterback and who they're going to take. And John Lynch had a very interesting answer that we can play for you quickly here.
I told Kyle from the beginning that he and I are doing this together. And when it comes to quarterbacks, I'd be foolish, I believe. We have a head coach who's also our offensive play caller. I will always defer to him. And, you know, what's cool about that is that Kyle, I think, respects my opinion enough. He always wants it.
So that is John Lynch, I think, kind of washing his hands of this decision for good or for bad. What it is, John Lynch, to me, had the most interesting and telling moment there, and it was what we just played, which was him saying, hey, Kyle's going to pick the quarterback. And if you're a Niners fan, it's going to make you a little anxious because back in 2017, when they could have drafted Mahomes or could have drafted Watson, Peter King was in the draft room. And reported right after that draft, there was one quarterback in the entire draft class Kyle Shanahan liked. C.J. Beathard, which is why a guy who people thought was going to go in the 7th round went in the 3rd round because Kyle Shanahan liked him. So where I have changed a bit is this, Brandon. I do think now it's Mac Jones because I think Kyle Shanahan, it's his call, it's his pick. I think that's his guy, and we will see if it works out. But they might feel good about 5 quarterbacks, Brandon, but they know who the quarterback is, and it's going to be Kyle Shanahan's decision. I think we learned that yesterday.
Well, Nick, listen, I don't know if you watched the entire thing, but that press conference was 30 minutes. It was entertaining. It was a drama. Did you watch all 30 minutes? It was so telling. After those 30 minutes, I walked away believing that it was Trey Lance, the guy that we're talking to at 9 a.m. this morning. That's what I walked away with. You know, he talked about there was 3 guys, and we all knew that. We knew that there was 3 guys in this draft, and all these other guys started running up the board. We knew Trevor Lawrence was going 1. We knew about Justin Fields. We knew about Zach Wilson. But we weren't talking about Trey Lance. We were talking about him at the end of the first and potentially a second rounder. Mac Jones, nobody was talking about Mac Jones. So I respect their process. I do believe you fall in love with a guy from watching film because there's so many ways to evaluate guys. You go out to practice. You turn on the tape, and then you start sitting down with them. You get on these Zoom calls. You start questioning. You start testing them. And I believe some guys start moving around. He said all 5 guys. There's another thing he said while I was in the press conference. Well, all 5 guys throughout this process have gotten better. I don't believe that. I believe that there's guys like Trey Lance that really impressed them, and they're falling in love with. So do they have their answer now? Probably. But did they know that a couple weeks ago? I don't believe so. I think they were working their process in a process that I respect.
Okay, so I don't think anybody got better. I'm not sure if anybody changed their minds. The one interesting thing about that press conference was it felt like the dynamic between Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch was being worked out in public. And we know if this was The Wire, you know the first thing you do, take them into separate rooms. And then you have McNulty asking John Lynch, like, hey, I heard you want Mac Jones. What? Who said it? Oh, Kyle said he wanted Mac Jones. If you separated those guys and asked them who they really wanted, I do not think they would come up with the same answer. And Nick, I think that's the reason why we've had so much indecision and cloudiness around this pick.
I think that's right.
All right, I'm going to jump in here because I wanted to talk about 2 things. A, did not know Nick Nolte was in The Wire. Love Nick Nolte. I'm going to have to jump on that. I know it's not a new show. Don't say Nick. And 2, the other big angle here.
Jenna,
the other big angle here
not Nick Nolte.
Is the team's plans.
Not Nick Nolte.
Okay. I heard it wrong. I'm trying to follow along. There's so much going on. Jimmy Garoppolo. So what does his future in San Francisco look like? So who did you say? All right. Shanahan was asked if he'll be on the roster come Sunday. Jimmy G, obviously. Oh, take a listen to this. I screwed that up.
I can't guarantee that anybody in the world will be alive Sunday, so I can't guarantee who will be on our roster on Sunday. So that goes for all of us. When you take a rookie quarterback and you have a veteran like Jimmy, who we know we can win with, just to move on from that is something that it's not easy to do.
No, it's not. So, Brandon, how should Jimmy Garoppolo feel after all of this? Because he's watching and reading and everything that we are, and he knows basically what their plans are.
Well, listen, this whole press conference was weird. You have to go back and watch.